Hello everyone, welcome to the Deep Drop. This is a fishing podcast, and tonight it's another very special guest episode. We are thrilled to have back on the podcast, and we love this guy, and having him on the show again is a barrel of laughs and also insightful as hell. So Curtis Waterman, all the way from WA, joins the Deep Drop again tonight, and we are loving every second of it. Kurt gave us a bit of an insight, a bit of an update on the state of play in WA at the moment. We catch up, regular sort of banter, but also find out what he's been up to. He is balls deep in a particular species at the moment and absolutely loving it. So we go hard. We really, really go hard in finding out what's making him tick and why this particular species is getting him up and about. Kurt obviously is one of the frontmen in the band Halco, or Lure Tackle Company, potentially, if you're not following along. Halco lures are a staple for any angler these days when it comes to blue water, or not just these days, for a bloody long time. And you'll see Curtis's face if you follow the Halco socials. You'll see him a lot, and he does a bloody good job. So it's a Curtis Waterman catch-up. It's a WA catch-up. It is a what's happening around the traps type situation. It is a lot of fun. We talk some absolute rubbish as we normally do between Adam and myself, and Curtis just comes along for the ride and joins that rubbish talk beautifully. We love this guy. We love having him back on the Deep Drop. Ladies and gentlemen, Curtis Waterman. This is a bloody tri-state episode.
Just covering the whole country.
Where are you in New South Wales, ads?
I'm in Merimbula.
Merimbula. Nice.
Yep.
Merimbula.
And it's humid. It's muggy as all shit here at the moment.
We had a... Oh, are you Googling where Merimbula is, Kurt?
Yeah, I wouldn't have a clue.
South Coast, New South Wales.
South Coast, New South Wales, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Good marlin fishing in the general region. Yellowfin. That mad yellowfin tuna bite. You would have heard about that.
Yeah. Yep.
And the marlin are going silly a little bit north at Burmie.
Yeah, right.
They are now.
Yeah, or they have been. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll go there tomorrow and suss it. Not fishing, unfortunately.
I was going to say you'll go there and just talk to
someone
about it.
I'll talk about it a lot.
What's how are you, mate? It's good to see you, by the way.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, no, it's we're back. I can add 2-time Deep Drop guest to my resume,
Mate. All-time
which
fave.
I'm stoked about.
Yeah, I reckon. Straight to the top.
I'm pretty sure we spoke several times about let's get Curtis Waterman back on the podcast. Fuck yeah, let's do it. And it's probably been over 12 months since you were on, so we were all talking.
It would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon it would be. Probably 18 months. I think it might have just been just post iCaster. I don't know. It all melds together.
True. Yeah, it does.
Oh,
It's been a while, but it's good to have you back, mate. And you're probably there wouldn't be many that have doubled up ads. Rainer might have done a cheeky couple of episodes.
Okay, I'm happy.
And maybe Hardy.
Hardy back in the day. So you're in a prestigious group.
Rare air, mate. Rare air.
That's good. I'm happy to be here. No, I've been pretty good. I actually haven't been doing too much the last couple of months, which has been nice because the sort of second half of last year was pretty crazy, and it's actually been really nice just to be at home and for a couple of weeks. And turns out not many people like hearing me complain about traveling and fishing so much.
Yeah.
So I get told to shut the fuck up a little bit, and I do. But no, I haven't been doing much the last couple of months. It's been really nice.
I love it. I know I take the piss out of you a lot because we'll often call on a professional sort of level, but then I'm like, wait, where are you? Oh, I'm at Exmouth fishing for Blue Marlin. Fuck off.
Actually, just hold on a sec. Hear that? That's a real going.
So I got to go. I'm on again. It's a double.
Last year was just crazy. Like from May onwards, we just had so much on, and I actually managed to sort of squeeze holidays in between the sort of work trips as well. So it was, I hardly had sort of 2 to 3 weeks in a row at home for about 6 months there, which was unreal. It was epic.
We had that mental sort of couple of months where iCast just blended into after, and it was ridiculous. And you guys didn't go home for like what seemed to be more than a month or something.
It was over a month. And because I actually went to America early,
that's right,
pre-iCast to try and film some tuna down in Venice in Louisiana, which was it was cool to see. We didn't quite tick the boxes that we were trying to tick, but so then we had ICAST, and whoever did the schedule. Well, there was no communication between the scheduling that year, because we got pulled through it. But yeah, I can't even remember after. I was just like a zombie.
Well, I didn't go. I saw you in the
right.
States, and that was it for a couple of weeks. I was gone.
That's right. Yeah, because you got AIDS.
I brought back something that knocked me around bad. It's funny. One night on the piss in America with Curtis, and that's the end of me.
It's all over.
But no, that was brutal. But it was also because we had I think you guys went straight to the Gold Coast, Kurt. I think we had 2 days in Melbourne, and then we were sort of heading back up, and it completely smashed me when we landed in Melbourne. I just went, oh, I'm not okay here. Something's going on.
Yeah, God, it was grim. Well, the 2 shows are a month apart this year, so we'll be firing. We'll be ready to go.
We will. Yeah. How's the States thing for you? This is actually something I wanted to ask you about, and it's not so much how's business, but how do you see it? Because it's such a different world, hey. As in, entering a market. So you guys at Halco have entered the US market, doing well, blah blah blah. But from your perspective, how different is it?
It's hard. It's really hard. And we're still working a lot of things out. We put a lot more effort into the States over the last probably 3 years. But it's just almost like like everything there. Like the gains turned up to everything in every different facet, and I find they're so much more extreme about even little things like which color of a product that they want to use. Like if I feel like customers here, if you walk into a shop and you want to buy a rooster popper or whatever it is, and the store doesn't have your favorite color, you just buy a different one, or you buy something sort of similar. And we're finding they're like, it's not that color, I'm not buying it. So there's lots of really idiosyncratic differences in how they sort of make their fishing decisions that we're working out, that is really different to what we've found with customers here. And then even sort of more just from a business perspective, there's just different sort of written and unwritten rules with how your product can be represented and moved around, and whether you can sell direct and compete with your own customers in this spot. Like, it's a bit of a free for all for a lot of stuff over there. So there's definitely a lot of challenges. And really, we go there for 7 to 10 days once a year. So this coming year will be my 5th trip there. It still means I've only spent sort of just over a month, between 1 and 2 months there, sort of interacting with the people. So it's we spend a lot of time thinking about it, but it's hard to pick up those little. It is, yeah. It's hard to pick up all those little idiosyncratic details that you kind of just absorb here. From 1 week a year.
And do you have to develop new colours?
You've already said something. You beat me to it, Luke. It's mate. As soon as you said, they get really specific with colours, I'm like, okay, what are they? Same colours we like here, or is there anything they're doing over there that needs to come straight back to the Australian? Yeah, come on, sure.
So our biggest colour across everything is the white redhead.
Yep.
There's daylight between that and second, which has, I have my own thoughts
in
about
Australia
that,
or the US?
Yeah, in Australia.
Okay.
And they don't want a bar of it over there. They do not want to buy. It might be one of the worst selling colours.
No way.
Oh, we still sell them. Sell them, but it's not.
And do they have a reason?
Anywhere near the same?
What? Why? Like, do they say? Are they offended by what? Like, is it the? Yeah. What
did you say? Are they offended?
No, I don't.
Depends where you are.
There was no way I was letting that go.
This happened
it's
last
certainly
night.
not in Louisiana.
I'm not even continuing that. So lure colours. So there's no real reason. They've just got. And do they have your colour catalogue that they take on in the US, or is it a new custom colour range for them?
Some stuff it's sort of half and half. There's some stuff that we only have there. There's some stuff that we have here that we don't have there. Which is you can never get that right anyway. Like, you know, inevitably
Yeah.
there's stuff that they want that is here, and you know, vice versa. But I've just found, I don't know, like they're just really particular on the colours. Like, I just feel like here we're a little bit more, we have favourite colours, but we're just a little bit more blasé about it. Like,
Yep.
you know, it's like something similar to that will still work. Because, like, you know, like for example, here's one I prepared earlier.
Look at
Like
this.
that.
Props and everything.
Right?
Yeah.
That and that, they're the same thing.
100.
Yeah, you could argue that
we would
one's-
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, one's got an orange bottom, one's got a chrome bottom, but they're more or less the same thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, if that was your favourite colour and the shop only had that,
You'd
well,
get that.
You just buy this one.
Of course you would.
Whereas with a lot of them, if it's not the one they wanted, it's too bad.
Wow. And
So have you had to come up with completely new colour schemes for them, or just tweak some of the ones we've got? As in, that, and that's a great example. I mean, do you have to take something that you've already doing for Australia and just add an orange belly to it, or take an orange belly away, or do they want completely brand new specific stuff?
Some stuff we have just done completely custom based on their feedback. And yeah, it's hard. Obviously, just from a manufacturing perspective, we just try and keep everything as tight as possible. Like, we don't want to have to be making stuff that's slightly similar but different if we can just get away with the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, there has been some stuff that has been just customized based on their feedback,
And
which has then gone well.
Do they, this is for all Victorians, Tasmanians and South Australians, do they like King Brown?
They're not big on King Brown.
Yeah, they've got no idea what they're talking about.
I know.
We're gonna have
They're
to,
not big on
No,
King Brown and White Redhead. Yeah,
seriously,
I know.
Idiots.
they've got a lot to learn, Curtis. I think.
But then, like, there's some colours there that they go nuts for that I just think I would never. I would
Really?
never. I
Like
love
what?
all our
Like
colours.
what?
I love all our colours, but some. of
Yeah,
them,
but
it's like,
yeah. Like what would be the one that you go, really?
Well, there's
And
this
it's
dark
not
purple.
you're not knocking, you're not bagging anything, but it's just like
No, it's
that-
fine.
Yeah.
Everyone likes different stuff, but there's this dark purple one that just, it's fine, but it just doesn't inspire me at all.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like anything.
Yeah.
It's got a black back with a dark purple side, and they love it for offshore, and it just does nothing for me.
Yeah.
But you know, that's one of our more popular ones there, and yeah, there's weird stuff, and you know, you just can't operate off the same assumptions and biases that we have here, because you can get away with it here, and you just can't there. You just got to reset.
I find that so fascinating. We spoke about this just a couple of weeks ago upon my return from Japan, and the same sentiment. We don't think about colours here at all.
Yeah.
And the reference I had, and I was talking to Adam through it, was something as simple as sabiki rigs. In Japan, in the tackle stores, there are fucking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of essentially the same rig with the most, small micro differences to them. And when you talk to them, it's like, oh no, that's because of this. This one's
why
for
it's
this.
that, yeah.
And we look at a sabiki rig and go,
Yeah, that'll do.
that'll do.
Yeah.
Just catching yakkers.
Sometimes I don't even know whether they got 6 hooks or 3.
Yeah, that's it.
Or you pull it out and you go, fuck, that hook's a bit small. Anyway.
Yeah.
No, I'll still use it.
It'll do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which kind of makes you go, like, are we? And I think that what we sort of landed on was, in a lot of ways, are we kind of lazy in that regard, or, I don't know if lazy is the right word, but maybe just,
Yeah.
not as critical on our decisions.
It's
when
a
it comes
fine line, though. Like, I actually think we're a good mix. But I'm generalizing, but I actually think we're a good mix of, not so anal that it gets in the way, but not like we're still somewhat particular. Because there's some things like fishing with some people in the US where they're, super particular about what color they'll use, but then, like I remember we went bass fishing one day and they're using like 50-pound braid.
Yeah.
The fish are this
Straight
big.
through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight through. And I'm like, so you're anal about the colour, but you won't use a fluorocarbon leader or something.
Yeah.
Like it's just a bit ass about for me. Like
Yep.
the putting a nice light leader on would increase your chances of
Would
catching
have
a
to.
fish
Yeah, I know.
20-fold
It'd have
before the
to.
colour of the lure.
Yep. Yeah,
So, I don't
it's
know.
it's a great example. It just makes no sense in a lot of ways. It obviously works for them and makes perfect sense for them. I'm sure there's plenty of what we do that they go, what's up with that.
Wow.
I know, Ads, you had
Yeah.
you had a case of one of the Rapala Pro staff or the Bass Pros. What's his name? Old mate
Jacob
from the
Wheeler.
Crush, Jacob Wheeler,
Yeah,
come over
Jacob
here.
Wheeler.
Never caught Barra and just dominated, like because he
Yeah,
just
right.
used one of his own techniques and went, "This, what are you guys doing?" And just like, am I right in saying he'd never fished for Barra and literally outfished some of our Australian tournament anglers?
Yeah, and I think where the success was for Jacob was the technique had been used over there for bass, and it's what we know as strolling now. It's everywhere. Like they're in Australia, they're doing it for barra, bass, basically anything that schools up and sits there and is in sort of an empowerment type situation. We're strolling on it now. But I think, speaking to Timmy Morgan about it, who was on the boat with him, this is where I think sometimes we can take a little bit of knowledge from them as far as attention to detail. They were using live scope, and Tim had the exact same setup as Jacob would have on his bass boat over in the States when he's fishing the tournaments. Near enough is never ever good enough. Where I think that's kind of our MO. Like we'll just if we miss a cast by half a foot, we'll go, oh, I'll give it a crack anyway. The fish might turn.
Yeah,
I'm taking half a foot every day.
Yeah, mate. But apparently for him, not an option.
no,
He would know the second he'd see the lure land and you got it on the screen. If it wasn't anywhere, it's just burn it back in and then put it straight on the money.
Put it in the spot. Yeah.
Whereas I might hit one on the money every 4th or 5th trip.
yeah.
Like it's wild. They're just so good at it.
Man,
Look, that reminds me when we're at the Tiwis.
I was
and we
about
were
to say
pulling up on that snag.
I was about
We
to
pull up
say
on this
exactly
beautiful
the
snag, and I've gone at 45 one way, and you've crossed. We're nowhere near it, and I think Pat wandered to the front of the boat, put one on the money, and pulled a fish off.
He did. Kurt and I just positioned ourselves nicely on the front casting deck. You know, the oldies are up the
prime
back.
posse.
Pat Levy,
Yeah.
Tim Carter, get fuck off, boys. You go down the back. It's and we've just the ultimate. If you could picture the ultimate snag when barra fishing, just appeared like a oasis in a desert, and we just gone, oh fuck, how good's this? Curtis has fucking just gone sideways and missed it by 10 meters, and I've sort of gone, oh, come on, mate. I've done the same thing, worse, crossed over his
like
line.
a mirror image.
Yeah,
Pat Levy's walked up and just pushed between us, going, move over, lads, and just put one right in it and just barra straight out of it, and we just gone, yeah, let's go to the back, Kurt.
But you know the Aussie way, and please tell me you did this, Kurt. So you've sprayed one at 45. You still gave the lure 4 or 5 twitches as if you were a half a chance.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
Got to play it cool.
Yeah. I find it funny that you become, because I don't know how much barra fishing you've done, Curtis. For me, not much at all. In fact, those Tiwi trips last year was it. So, but you immediately become like real critical on yourself. But the reality is, it's like, I actually don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, for something that you just don't do.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and you get handed a rod that's not yours and a reel that's not yours, and for us, like a new lure that we haven't cast much. And, you know, I hadn't barra fished for 2 or 3 years, and suddenly I'm just dirty on myself for not putting it on a dime.
So critical.
Yeah.
So much sort of expletives towards yourself. Just shaming yourself. But that was a good trip. I said to Adam, Kurt and I have fished. We've done 2 fishing trips together, essentially, and the bar is set so high. Because the first one was a week out at the Abrolhos Islands, and the second one was a week up on the Tiwi Islands. And I'm like, where do we...
Yeah.
Well, I think we spoke about it. Where do we go from here? I'm not sure.
I know.
But I'll tell you
Pretty
one
incredible.
thing. We will have fun, whatever we do.
Yeah.
And I think Adam and I talk about it off air a bit. We got to get over to WA more. You guys... I think actually last time I did speak to you on the phone, which was only a couple of weeks ago, you said you haven't been doing much. Weren't you like smashing Blue Marlin?
Yeah. No. Yeah. Apart from that. Yeah.
but that's just ducking out for a
That was like
sesh, mate.
Yeah. Well, that was like 8 weeks ago. So that was no. Yeah. We well, Ben actually, my boss Ben, the owner of Halco, he took his big boat up to Exmouth in about mid-November, and we didn't see him again until the Christmas party. So he He had about
what a
6
man.
weeks up there. Yeah. And so Tim flew up, Tim, our sales manager, flew up and did a week with him and a few other guys marlin fishing. And then I flew up in about mid-December and we fished the heavy tackle tournament, which Exmouth Game Fishing Club put on. And it was meant to be a 4-day comp, which got whittled down to just about a day and a half, I think.
Because you got shit weather, didn't you? Yeah.
Weather.
Oh, it was diabolical. It was hot. I mean, it's December in Exmouth, so it's not unlikely, but it was horrible. It was terrible. But we battled through and caught it. I mean, we're in a 50-footer, so it's not,
nice.
not in a 20-footer. So that was good. Like, when I say it was horrible, like, I had to lay on the couch while we're trolling, so it wasn't that bad.
Are you okay, mate? Are you going to be okay?
I mean, to be fair, I lay on the couch when the weather's good too, but it was. We got a few fish, but yeah, it was. I love blue marlin fishing.
So
I'm just obsessed with it now.
Is Blue Marlin in WA the same sort of scenario that all the vibe we got on the East Coast is long way out? A lot of miles to find blues, or are they found a little bit closer to shore here in WA?
Exmouth's probably the exception. Pretty much most places you're chasing them other than Exmouth, it's minimum 25, 30-ish miles. Whereas Exmouth, it's still a long way from Exmouth, but you can start to catch blues sort of, within 10 to sort of 25 miles. So still a long way. Like, it's certainly not a close fishery, but that's why Exmouth is, and Exmouth gets that glamour water, and you don't have to go too far. So it's sort of the prime posse to be in. But there's good blue marlin fishing. Perth last year we had an epic season. Like, there was, and this year's shaping up pretty good as well. We've actually got the second of 2 blue marlin comps that we have in Perth this week. The second one is this weekend, and there's nearly 90 boats signed up for it, which is unbelievable.
This is not a bad little segue, because from my mail, the blue water fishing, the game fishing, the enthusiasm back toward getting out and just dragging lures is as high as it's ever been. Now, maybe we'll chat about it in a minute. Obviously, there's been a few changes with some what you can and can't do. But is that the vibe? Like, it's just people are getting out and towing lures and having a ball?
Certainly now. It was pretty doom and gloom there for a bit. But, I think it's sort of 6-8 weeks on, and it's like, it is what it is. What everyone still wants to go fishing. So it's what else can we do? Which to our delight, it's all of us that rely on fishing to make a living. Like, people have just gone with it. We had a blue marlin comp last weekend. There was a heap of boats in. Like I said, this one, it's a record number. Even the West Australian Game Fishing Association got on the front foot and organised like a talk night a couple of weeks ago up at Hillary's, and it was sort of just pulled together last minute, and they just had a few sort of influential guys come down, and we were down there, and there was a couple of charter operators and stuff, and like 400 people rolled in, just keen to learn about. Yeah, like, we didn't know, we had no idea what was going to happen. There was no paid advertising or anything. Like, it was just put out there. It was a Thursday night in Hillary's, and Hillary's is a long way north as well. Like, it took me an hour to get there.
Where is it? So an hour from Perth?
Not quite. From the city, it'd be, in the traffic, it'd be 35 minutes north of Perth.
Yeah.
So but still on the northern end. It's not like it's central. It took me an hour from Halco.
Yeah.
But yeah, people just rolled through the door like it was. We didn't know whether we were going to get 10 people or whatever was going to happen. Couldn't believe it when so many people rolled through. And it was. We're also half expecting to just, maybe the pessimist in us was saying, we might just get a bit of carry on or, a bit of sooking. But it wasn't that at all. It was like people were just there to learn how to catch a mackerel or a tuna or a dolphin fish. We all left that talk night in particular just stoked for the attitude that everyone had. And there's plenty of fish that are still going to be caught over the next couple of years for sure.
Because what are the actual rules that come in place? Because from what we hear down here, obviously like any sort of news. We only hear the average stuff when rules get changed in a negative manner. As far as we're concerned, you just can't do anything. You can't catch bottom fish at all.
Yeah.
It's kind of just the way it's filtered through. What is it actually?
So our coastline is split up into bioregions, and the main one, and I say the main one because it's got the majority of the population in it, is the West Coast bioregion, which runs from just north of Kalbarri to Augusta. So it's a fair chunk of our coast, and so Perth and all the coastal towns north of Perth that people frequent on weekends away and short trips. Not so much the flying to Exmouth or flying to Broome or whatever, but it's those weekenders and Easter trips and stuff that people go to from Perth, both north and south, that are all encapsulated in this West Coast bioregion. And that's the one that's had the complete closure for 2 years. They changed the rules a couple of years ago and tightened up on it. It went from a 10-month open season with a 2-month closure to about 6 and 6, I think. And so when they announced these new changes, most recent changes in December, the season had actually already closed based on the old rules in September. And so we're actually already 2 or 3 months into it when this extension of that closure was announced. So the 2-year ban is realistically an 18th month ban because we'd already served a little bit of it. It's September 2027 that supposedly the West Coast bioregion will open back up. There's two, I think, I've thought a lot about it, obviously, because it was a big part of what I did as well. And my parents have got an investment property in Jurien Bay, which is a couple of hours north of Perth, and it's an Airbnb, and it was people to go fishing that were booking that Airbnb. So, there's obviously a lot of repercussions and sort of layers to the onion that this affects. And, I've thought about it a lot. I think there's probably two parts, two sort of clouds of thought with this. One is and this is me being a true optimist, and I think a realist as well, if everything goes the way that they say it's going to go, and it does open up when they say it will, we're going to end up with one of the biggest exclusive recreational fishing zones in the world. So that, from a rec fishing perspective, will be unreal. I don't think there's anything too devastating, just from an angler perspective, of giving them a rest for a little bit and then having an exclusive zone that, they'll be jumping in the boat as far as I'm concerned, because it was a good fishery, despite what some of the science suggests. Like the pink snapper, they're everywhere. In the right places, they were absolutely everywhere. So I think with that train of thought, it's a really good thing. But, there's obviously the pro fishing side to it, who all just got their businesses stripped of them with 20 days notice. That's, I can't even comprehend how tough that would be, especially for, families they've had the business in their family for generations. That's really tough. And then obviously like I mentioned, it's the tackle stores and the fish and chip shops and the IGAs and stuff in all these little towns who rely on people travelling from Perth and going fishing on weekends to support their sort of local economy. So there'll certainly be some hurt from it, without a doubt, and we've seen a bit of that already. But we've also seen, I was in Jurien Bay last weekend, and they're talking about how much bait and things they sold last year that they didn't sell this year, but he's also going, but I've sold more fucking 80 wide Tiagras in this last 3 weeks than ever, and that's the really encouraging part. And that's off the back of everyone just sucking it up and being like, it is what it is, let's go do something else. And that's what will get those businesses through. And if they can get through the 18 months, we're going to have an epic fishery on the other side of it.
Unbelievable.
So.
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty interesting to see Fisho's habits once it does reopen, because you're going to have a percentage of wrecks that have now experienced something different in a heavier tackle fishery, and maybe that's completely engulfed them now, and they're obviously pouring everything into learning and working out what these fish are doing and how they can be more efficient at getting them. It'll be interesting to see what happens when that fishery reopens. If they go, okay, well, cool. Oh, still, this game thing's mad. Like we still got to put that in the calendar as this is game season, And then once that sort of backs off, you move into your demersals. It could naturally give the fish even a little bit more of a rest.
A bit less pressure
in their open seasons. Yeah,
I reckon you're spot on. I'd be so very, very surprised if that didn't happen. And I think part of that as well is we're so spoilt with our demersal fishery that people don't bother to go 20 miles offshore and try and catch a yellowfin because you can drive for 6 minutes and catch a big bulging groper in 8 meters of water. So why would you? And I get that. So we've sort of been so spoilt with how good it's been, with how good that shallow water demersal fishery has been, that we just never broadened the horizons, and we're forced to now. And I'm pretty confident that, I love catching baldies in shallow water, but it's not the same as 25 kilo yellowfin offshore. There's some pretty cool shit out there. And I'm pretty confident that a lot of people are going to have their eyes open to that and not look back.
I think one of the cool things, from where I sit from a day-to-day perspective, is the uptake of all the other fisheries in WA. So people, that squid fishing's always been big, right, around WA coastline. All of a sudden, it's just there's a slight increase there because it's like, oh, we can definitely do that. The estuary scene further south, like the land-based sort of the surf and casting, giant salmon and stuff in the right time of year. There's all of a sudden I'm hearing about freshwater fishing that I didn't even think existed in WA.
We're having to. And this is what I mean. We're so spoiled by the thing that we do the most that we awesome. Don't. Yeah, it's unreal. There's so much stuff to do. I've got no. Yeah, I mean, I've sort of been reserved in sharing that opinion too much publicly because that I am a little bit, a positive viewing of this whole situation, just because I know a lot of people are really hurt by it and really disappointed in it. I don't mean to rub it in anyone's face who is feeling the hurt of that, but my optimism comes out of, I'm so confident that there are so many other things for anglers to go and do, and so many other genuinely good fisheries to go and have a crack at, that the course will right itself and we'll find a way through it.
Are they quietly confident that 2 years is all they'll need? Was it the fact that were the numbers that diabolically low in some of these demersal fish species that it was no, we need to act immediately and we have to try and or was it just the bell curve was just a little bit out of whack, and rather than react too late, do we just try and get ahead of it for a couple of years and we can forget about it? Or it's hard to say. But
I think that is one of the biggest problems with this whole situation, is that there's still conjecture over what the truth is. There's amongst anglers, there's not a lot of trust in the data that was presented to justify the decision. And I can understand that. I mean, we're not scientists, but we do spend a lot of time on the water, and I think, what anglers were seeing on the water was not matching up in any way, shape, or form with what the data was suggesting. That doesn't mean the data's not right, but there was a disconnect there. So I don't know is the answer to the question. There was also some disagreement about how and I'm, again, not a marine biologist, so I'm not all over this, but the stock levels are bumped up significantly by a big recruitment year, and then that one recruitment year kind of maintains the stock level for a period of years after that, but there's no way of knowing when that bumper recruitment year is going to be. So if we had one in 2010, and then we have 5 or 6 years of limited recruitment years, and then you have another big one, it's like we might be in the middle period in between those two recruitment years, and this will make no difference because we're not catching them, but they're also not increasing at that big rate. So it's it's a hard thing to kind of wrap your head around.
It's weird because we deal with a similar sort of concept with our snapper down here. When you talk about recruitment, the benefit we've got is that snapper fishery is in essentially a shallow, low tidal bay. That they can wait for snapper recruitment. The scientists know when they are. They can go and drag a net through it that doesn't kill any of these fish, but they get they can at least model something that's accurate enough to maintain whether we've had good recruitment or not. And the recruitment's based on so many things. It's not just angler pressure. It's got everything to do with freshwater coming out of the Yarra. Are we in drought? Are we not in drought? Have we had too much water? There's so many things that contribute to what the recruitment looks like. It's just impossible to do in an offshore setting. You know what I mean? Like there's just vast amounts of area. There's current which is changing and fluctuating every single day. Whereas everything's fairly reliable in that sort of shallow bay setting that isn't highly tidal anyway. Yeah. It's recruitment's it's a controversial topic, and one that we won't ever get right. And I can see how it would be insanely hard in what you're doing because again, you're offshore. Like
to be honest, exactly. And I think that kind of is why there's been such an uproar about this as well, is because not everyone's on the same page about what the facts are and what the solutions are to those facts. There's conjecture everywhere, and I get it too, because from one side you've got the Department of Fisheries saying pink snapper are in absolute dire straits, and like we're hand feeding them off the back of the boat in the Abrolhos in 20 metres of water, can't get away from the things, and that's two things can be true at the same time, but there just wasn't. There's a lot of confusion there, and not a lot of agreement on what the facts are, and
they must have been trying to collect their data on a full moon, I reckon.
Yeah.
Fish around.
Yeah. Oh, and then the conspiracy theories come out as well. There's countless conspiracy theories. There's lots of tinfoil hats getting around too, and at that point, I just start. I think at some point the rules are the rules now, and you just got to make the best of the situation.
Have you got an example? Have you got an example of a conspiracy theory? Because I find conspiracy theories the funniest thing in the world. Like I genuinely have so much pleasure in hearing people give me their theories.
This one is a strong. I'm actually. On my life, I'm nervous to say it because they might come for me.
Oh, this is fantastic.
Well then,
this is the one.
So. I don't know enough about this. I'll put it down now. I don't know enough about this.
He's backing
so
out
I
already.
Could be wrong.
He's backing
Do you want to text it to me and I'll read it?
I was going to say, I don't want, after this episode goes to air, Curtis Waterman on the headlines gone missing. So if you want to pull out, if you want to back out, now's the time. But I think you teased us too much.
No, so there's people suggesting that the government's planned for like seismic explosive stuff offshore, and they want to get boats off the water so that they're not witnessing that, and shit like that where
like proper shit.
Could be true. I'm not saying that it couldn't be, that it isn't true, but it's pretty unlikely that
well, at least they're looking out for the people. Got to try and find the positive.
There's people as well. Like in periods of confusion, people try and make stuff make sense. That's that is in our nature. So I completely understand it. But whether that is true or not, it just goes even further to show that no one's on the same page here. No one quite understands what the reasons are.
And the information wasn't clear enough at the beginning, realistically.
Yeah, exactly. And they released the documents, and I read the 47-page document or whatever it is, and I live and breathe this stuff, and I struggle to understand it. So, people who are just fish 5 times a year on the weekends or whatever, like they're no hope of trying to wrap their heads around it. There's
what percentage of your fishing was what percentage of your fishing was demersal, chasing demersal fish, Kurt?
If you'd asked me 5 years ago, it would have been a lot more. It would have been 80%. And it's really only through my involvement with Halco that we don't really make products for demersal species. Where that tuna, mackerel, offshore stuff is much more our zone. And so just as a symptom of me being here, that's where I've sort of moved more into. But 5 years ago, it would have been 85% of what I did. And there's a lot of people that are like that.
Okay.
And is that more of your? So is that style more of your harvest type fishing where and this is not being negative about harvesting fish or taking fish home for a feed. Luke and I actually wrote some notes down when we recorded a recent episode, and we're going to talk about this topic because I think it's important for our industry and what we do in our livelihood. It's important to talk about this sort of stuff. But is that demersal fishing more of a take and harvest fishery rather than a catch and release fishery to begin with?
It certainly was. And what I actually think happened was, the WA government have messed around with our rules a few times. So there's obviously this most recent time. There was a couple of years ago, and then about 12 or 14 years ago, I think there was the first of sort of the big reforms in these rules, which it went from basically a free-for-all down to what the rules were for the majority of, for the last 15 years.
So is that in regards to bag limits or for seasonal fishing? So bag limits.
So that mainly bag limits, but both. That was when they brought in the closed season, and that was the big. I reckon it was about 2010. That was the big change, and so I think pre that it was more a meat harvesting fishery. And when that came in, and you could only catch 2 jewfish and 2 fish per, so it was a 2 jewfish boat limit. So if the 3 of us are on the boat, we can catch 2 demersal fish each, so a maximum of 6. But only 2 of those could be jewfish.
You would catch them both, probably.
Yeah. So you bag out early. Luke and I would be struggling away.
Be casting medals at salmon.
Resorting to bait fishing.
But I think when that got cut down, that was when guys were like, all right, well, we can only catch 2. Let's make them count. And that's when the slow pitch jigging really took off, and like soft plastics for snapper. And it really kind of raised the value of one fish because you could only catch 2 each. And, instead of just going out and catching as many as you could, the target became catching the biggest one on the lightest gear, or, really making that 1 or 2 fish count.
Yeah.
Which was unreal. And I think that is more or less the way that it stayed up until the sort of changes 2 years ago, which, some of those rules were a basket case as well, in my opinion. Like, we were just talking about the 2 jewfish per boat rule. Well, 2 years ago, they upped that to 4 because they were in trouble. So explain that to me.
Yeah.
And took away the size limit. Now, I can understand what they were trying to do was avoid people catching a small one, throwing it back, and trying to catch a bigger one. Right? Because they die. If you catch them in 50 metres, they die.
Yeah,
problem is, just removing the size limit doesn't make people not upgrade.
Yeah, that's true.
They can legally now keep that fish, but they still upgrade it. If you catch a fucking 15 kilo dewey, not everyone, but a lot of people still do it. So it didn't really solve the problem that it was trying to solve, but it also meant that you could now kill twice as many jewfish per day and of any size. So I'm not 100% sure that one did the trick.
I think that's trying to look at it again from it's not really a positive standpoint, but looking at it from a logical standpoint. That's just non-fishermen making rules for fishermen.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's how most of this stuff comes apart. I don't necessarily think they're sitting down for any state. I know Queensland are having issues with their Spanish mackerel fishery at the moment, and in Victoria there's always endless discussion on snapper because we've had a couple of poor seasons, and half the people are saying there's no snapper left and others saying it's fine, don't worry about it. At the end of the day, I think the rules, again, they're being made by people that don't necessarily fish.
Yeah.
And that's hard because the people that do fish, the last thing they want to do is talk politics and policy.
Yeah. You're 100% right.
So it's hard. It's hard. It's just
there was a good one.
It's a slippery slope too, because sometimes you put too many rules in, or try too hard to put a rule in, and that's where it just becomes a mess.
Yeah. We had one with not the current fisheries minister, but the previous one, who there was this. It was when a girl got eaten by a shark in the Swan River, and there was a knee-jerk reaction. Yeah, it was. It was hot, and it was really bad. She was swimming with dolphins, got mauled by a bull shark. It was terrible, and that had never happened. I don't think anyone had ever died from a shark attack in the Swan River before. There'd been other attacks, but that was obviously a big thing that had happened, really newsworthy, and everyone knew about it. And then somehow the angle changed to fishing being one of the things causing that issue. And so wire traces were banned in and around the Swan River and some of the beaches around Perth as well. And I'm talking 40-pound wire traces so a tailor doesn't bite you off.
Tailor can't bite you off, yeah.
Yeah, and that's just a classic example of, one, a knee-jerk reaction to a completely unrelated situation, and two, someone with no understanding of the ins and outs of what they're making rules on, making the rules. If we're shark fishing and we're using a 40-pound wire trace, no.
You're not catching them anyway.
We all know that. Nah.
Yeah.
We all know that. But it's just, that's the rule now. And yeah, that's what can you do about it?
Yeah, yeah. But at least there is that, there's a heap of stuff that doesn't make sense. But I think it's important you've outlined, when it comes to the demersal fishery, I mean, the wire trace thing's a head scratcher and that'll never be solved. But there still could be light at the end of the tunnel. If all goes according to plan, and now we're talking with nature, it might not. We have to be realistic about it. It could, like you said, it could open up in 18 months' time or wherever we're at now, and it's happy days and off we go. And I hope, or you would like to hope, that the powers that be are sitting back in this 2-year closure, in that period. Because as far as I see it, they've got 2 years to come up with some really sensible and educated rules for when the fishery reopens. You're upping or lowering bag limits, increasing bag limits to try and look after a fish that's supposedly in trouble, logically doesn't make sense. So whether you know anything about fishing or not, if you can count, it doesn't seem like a logical, solution to a problem. They've got 2 years to work out what a solution looks like, and they can talk to real fishermen, real people that are on the water. They can cross-reference all that with their scientists and do whatever they want to do. You'd like to hope that's happening.
Yeah. I'd love to see a case study of like really successful fisheries management in other parts of the world, and just some of the levers that other fisheries management teams have been able to pull and have it work. And the ideas are endless, farming, sanctuary zones, having 3 zones that go from, catch and release, one's no take and one's no fishing, and you rotate them around, or, there's heaps of different things that you could do. And you're dead right, Adam. They've got a unique opportunity to hit pause and work out how it needs to be going forward. And hopefully they do that.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Speaking of going forward, how's your year shaping up? We're recording this in Feb. We spoke off the top about a pretty hectic schedule last year. Is it all onwards and upwards and bigger and better for you this year, mate? What do you got on the cards?
Yeah, there's a bit going on. The next couple of months, I really want to try and catch some more Blue Marlin off Perth and Jurien Bay. I'm so stuck on that one at the moment. That's your thing at the moment? Because at the moment, you can
hear it in your voice. You get excited about Blue Marlin.
Yeah, I ordered some stuff from Shimano the other day that was just.
So you have to get into Blue Marlin. You do have to get into Blue Marlin fishing there.
Fuck yeah! I actually it's insane. And I'm used to lures being $25, and these ones are fucking $200 with no hook.
No hooks.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, but it's kind of it's just that one mecca at the moment, and where awesome. I'm really into it with my best mate Parko as well, which is cool that we're sort of doing it together. And it's actually been a while since I've been this engrossed in one species of fish, and it's right. Not like. And this is not to, blow my own horn or anything, but I haven't found something for the last few years where it's taken ages to tick the box, and really nut it out. A lot of other things, you sort of set your mind to it, and it kind of, you get pretty good at this stuff after a while. So sort of 3, 4, 5 times you make it happen. And it's been a while for me to be in something where I'm like, fuck, I've been doing this for 2 years and I'm a little bit better, but I'm nowhere near where I want to be.
How good's that though?
Mate,
that's awesome.
It is. It's unreal.
It's
unreal.
It's
what keeps us coming back.
Well, talk me through the Blue Marlin fishery at the moment. So are you, or is the area you're in, are they smack bang in the middle of an exceptional Blue Marlin season? Or is it just the fact that it was something you haven't done a lot of, and you're just starting this puzzle? You're just starting this journey towards whatever you want to achieve with Blue Marlin. Are we in an exceptional season, or is it just something it's just grabbed you and you're in?
I think it's probably a little bit of both, and I also think that this stuff's contagious too. And as soon as a couple of other boats start going out and catching them, like everyone just gets involved and wants to do it, and then inevitably more fish get caught, and it sort of creates the illusion of a better season. When really last year it was the same amount of fish, but there's only 2 boats doing it or whatever. So I think it's a little bit of both. Perth last year and this year's shaping up to be another really good one. Like I mentioned before, my parents have got a house in Jurien Bay, and Jurien's probably the closest to the fishing grounds within a kind of a couple of hour drive of Perth. And Jurien, for some reason, just seems to get this really nice push of water in that Lewin Current that comes down the west coast. You can have horrible cold water at Perth, and Jurien just sometimes gets this. It's almost like it's the last point where it bounces off the coast and goes out wide. So you can have like a 35-mile run out to the good water off Perth, but at Jurien it's like 25. And, you know, I'm really glad that my parents decided to buy a house there when I was 4 years old, because now I get to go there and go try and catch Blue Marlin. The biggest challenge I'm facing at the moment is my boat's not fucking big enough. Which is a hard problem to solve.
I was gonna. Yeah. This is an expensive.
Yeah.
New passion you found with these species.
Yeah.
It's
You could take up brim fishing.
And buy a fucking kayak.
Well, have you?
Hey, calm down.
We felt. Did you feel targeted then?
Was that hot?
just a smidge.
So what is it? Can you put your finger on one or two things about Blue Marlin that just get you pumped? Is it the fish themselves? Is it the way you chase them? Is it where you chase them? What is it?
It's a good question. There's a few things about them. I mean, they're such an impressive animal. Like when you've actually got one to the side of the boat and you're hanging onto its bill, and this is probably me getting a little bit touchy-feely, but like whenever I catch one, or we just catch one and I'm like holding its bill, I always try and just like take a deep breath and just not let the adrenaline make you run through it in autopilot, and just look at it for 15 seconds and just be like, holy fuck, this thing's unreal. Because it's so easy to just be like, yeah, got it. You know, you're pumped full of adrenaline. You got it on the leader, grab the thing, take the hook out of its mouth, everyone's high-fiving, let it go. And it's just like, oh, fuck, it's all over. We just spent 4 days trying to do that, and it's done in 10 seconds. So I'm always like just trying to take a deep breath and just appreciate the moment when you look them one in the eye, because they're just big, powerful, they're unreal. They're just such an impressive creature. It's the kind of thing like humans never really should have known that they existed. We weren't meant to build these boats and go offshore. Like if that hadn't happened,
that's
we would
a
never
unique
fucking
perspective
know.
that I've never heard.
That's
actually incredible to think about it. Yeah.
Like
do you reckon they've got the shits? They're like
probably
fucking humans.
Boats.
We were out here swimming around having the time of our lives, and then fucking old mate comes out with his boat, and all of a sudden they've discovered us.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I've worked out that I like rubber lures with resin heads.
Yeah.
But what about that? Have you got to go to? And now obviously you'll probably say Laser Pro, but what about colourways and stuff when it comes to whether it's skirts, hard bodies, whatever it is? Is there something, or is it still a bit of a mystery for you?
It definitely is. I don't know anywhere near enough about them to make a confident decision, and which is unique again for me, because I've been so engrossed in the world of lures for so long that I'm confident enough to make my own decision on a normal fishing lure, and now with this stuff I just go back to being like the nuffy that wants to I'm like, what does Eddie Lawler use? What does Tom Miller use? What is, I don't even know. I don't know when I go and look at the wall, and I just look to the people who do it better than me.
This is why it's the best thing.
And this is what, and you're 100% right. When you live and breathe it, you're in it every day. Adam and I are the same. When there's something that stumps you, as frustrating as it can be, it's exhilarating, because you're like, I don't know this. This is fucking awesome.
Yeah, no, it's great. And I've learned a lot about marlin lures in the last year. Like, if we'd had this conversation 2 years ago, I would have just been like, they're all the fucking same, just be in the right place at the right time. And it's not the case. There's an element to that, but it's not the case.
Well, I was gonna ask earlier, and I sort of refrained. But
yeah,
do you just got to find them? Like you just throw lures out and tow them around until something eats. Like
that is a big
I'm
part
not,
of
as
it.
you can probably tell by my last statement, I'm not a game fisherman's arsehole.
Yeah,
and I probably never will be. But it just
No,
seems
that is a
like
big
drive
part of
around
it.
lots. Just drive around
Yeah.
lots.
What
Yep.
you're saying, Ads, if you potentially find them, Kurt, which is hard in itself, but would they eat anything if you threw at it? Or would they still...
No, not so much that. It's like there's only one species I've come across that I've never caught or targeted that seems like... What's a patriotic way of saying it? Doesn't take a lot to actually catch them.
yeah.
You're an idiot.
Here's a good
Are you
way.
saying it?
I think I've got a good way to think
And it's
about
not Blue
this.
Marlin.
What is it? First, sorry, Kurt. What is it?
Swordfish.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I
You
didn't know where
can't
you were going
sound
with
them. You just pull up on a canyon edge and drop a house brick to the bottom with a bit of squid on it and hope they swim past and fucking eat it. Like it doesn't.
Yeah.
The hardest part of fishing for swords, again, asterisk, never fished for them. So please, sword fishermen, just fucking relax. I'm talking just out of my ass. It doesn't. It seems like the hardest part of that fishery is just how do you get the bait that deep
Yeah.
without it exploding or falling off.
I think the way I like to think about it is like there are very simplistic aspects to it, both broadie sword fishing and marlin fishing. Like, because at the end of the day, you do just have to drive around and hope you drive over one. That is fundamentally true. But because that can take so long, I think the effort goes into all the other pieces, because when you do manage to do that, you just want every 1%er to then give you the best chance to capitalize on that opportunity. So, you might go, we'll just whack whatever lures out and drive around and one will fucking eat it. And you might be right. But when you do at lunchtime on the fourth day, you finally drive over one, like you just want everything to be as good as it can be to capitalize on that opportunity, which is why the obsession goes into all those 1%ers.
And I understand that there's a lot. Oh, and there's everything. There's currents, there's water temperatures, there's where's bait going to congregate when there's two currents pushing in and changing. I don't understand that. I've never delved into that part of the wonderful world of fishing. So I'm being a little bit of a smart ass by saying just drive. But
you can't
no,
back out. You
no,
have
no, I'm not.
offended so many people.
No, I'm about to back up what I was going to say.
Own it.
I am. No, I am.
Fuck.
I am.
They're
Because
coming, first they're coming for Curtis, and now because of the conspiracy theories.
Not only do fly fishermen don't listen to this program because of me, we may have just lost all of the game fishermen as well. In the limited game fishing that I have done,
Which is now all of Western Australia.
Yeah.
Fuck. I might need to be fired. Like, just Luke, it's probably time to just cut the cord, mate. Let me go. But in the limited amount of game fishing that I've done, I find it endlessly hard because once you're out there, it's just a whole lot of nothing. If you can't, I'm so used to fishing in a visual aspect. I paddle around in a kayak, the most unco kayak fisherman you've ever seen, 6'4" dude trying to fit himself into a kayak that pedals so his arms can be free to cast at a snag. Everything's visual.
Yeah.
If I can see a snag, I can see a weed bank, it doesn't take too much brain power to work out where to put what's going on. But getting out into the wide open blue water, unless there is birds diving, I'm like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
What do I do?
You learn that lesson once you... I completely get it because I was exactly the same, but I think it only takes for you to get a couple of bites out of those times when there literally is nothing going on. And I always think about when I am in that situation, when I'm driving the boat and there's no birds, the bait might have dried up, what things are you trying to look for? Basically just to give yourself hope so you don't give up. And the temperature might tick from the temp might tick from 24.4 to 24.5, and you're like, here we fucking go. We're on here.
Water.
But then inevitably, well, not inevitably, but I've had situations where it does feel like that, and you just get a bite. And so once you have that happen a couple of times, it kind of takes those doubts away. It takes that voice in your head away, where once you know your system is set up right or well, then it just comes down to time on the water. And yeah, there's all those variables you want to look for and take advantage of if they present themselves. But at the very least, if you're in a somewhat good zone and you're out there having a crack, it can just come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Which sort of, it makes it a bit easier to commit to.
But again, which is why fishing's the best. Because the dude that is on his very first ever marlin trip in his own boat, throwing some lures around, driving around, trying to work it out, is just as much chance as catching a dude that's caught 1,000 blue marlin and can literally do it in his sleep. It's why it's the best thing ever.
It is cool. Yeah. I took a mate of mine and his dad a couple of weeks ago because they just bought a new boat and neither of them had ever marlin fished before. And the weather was shit, but they wanted to go. And I was like, yeah, the water looks good off Jurien. And we went, and it was horrendous. And we just found this zone that looked good. This is another thing that I've learnt. When, talking about driving around, when I would marlin fish a couple of years ago, I would sort of go to let's say a canyon or something, and you might troll over it a couple of times and not get a bite, and you go, all right, there's no fish here, and you go on to the next spot or whatever. And from watching the guys who do it really well, if they feel that the stars are aligned in that zone, they'll bog lap that zone for fucking 7 hours. They're just, we're going to get one here. The bait's here. The water's here. The current's here. You just got to put the time in that zone and you'll extract one out of it. And that was a good lesson to learn, because then this couple of weeks ago when we went off Jurien with my mate Jacob and his old man, we found this one zone and it was about a mile long and we just bog lapped it for 6 hours. And they're both looking at me going, what the fuck are we doing? It's rough. They've never marlin fished before. They've never seen one. They don't believe the nonsense that I'm saying. And we're into hour 6 of the same mile track. And I'm like, guys, just trust me, it looks good. And then they actually had to drive back to Perth that afternoon. So we're like, all right, we'll give it till 1:30. And then we got to head back because it was rough. And at 1:12, a fucking 400-pound blue marlin comes up and eats the short corner. And and they're both just like, holy fuck. And we got it. And it was unreal. And, it's good for them because, they just, it took me 2 years to learn a couple of the things that they learnt in that one day. And, it would have felt like we were, doing the same thing and expecting a different result. But that's what we did. And you extract one out because the variables were right and we just put the time in there and you get one.
This is something we ask a lot as well. Where or when do you pull the pin? And I know it sounds, I'm not being a smartass, it sounds silly, because we talk about something completely opposite, fishing a trout stream. How many casts do you put into that particular bend in that river before you go, even if you're confident there's fish there, and there probably are, before you just go, fuck, I've just got to move on. Marlin fishing is just, it's a long game, isn't it?
Yeah.
To your point. So what would you do?
It's a good question.
Because you never know the real answer. Because you might give it 8 hours, and if you stayed for 8.5, you might have got one. It's that.
Yes.
You're never going to know.
Yeah. We marlin fished during a few weeks on Australia Day long weekend, and the weather wasn't great. And a mate of mine, Anthony Picotic's got a really big boat, and he was on his way down from Exmouth. And the water looked good, so he's like, do you want to go off Jurien? So I wasn't skippering, Anthony was. We go on Saturday at fucking 4 o'clock in the morning, which I'm not a big advocate for.
Me either.
Have witnessed. I have witnessed Curtis.
Yeah.
Anything with an AM attached to it, not his best time of the day.
It's got to be.
Yeah, Arvo bites are the best.
If it's dark, I'm not.
But so we had lures in at 6 a.m. We've just seen absolutely nothing. There was a high tide at 3:30 p.m. It gets to 2 o'clock. The sea breeze has come in. It's howling from the south. And I'm at this point, I'm thinking to myself, I would pull the pin now just because I can't be fucked anymore. and it's rough and it's shit. And as soon as you're not having fun as well, it's like that is the whole point. So, I would have pulled the pin anyway. Pex goes, "No, we're getting to this high tide just past it." He's got a bit more dog in him than me. But at 3:30 on the dot, we hooked this like 35 kilo yellowfin tuna. Like just came up, swallowed out of the rigger. Wasn't the marlin we were chasing, but it was still an unbelievable fish. Awesome. And I remember thinking after that when we got back, I just remember thinking I wouldn't have caught that fish. Yeah. Because I would have pulled the pin.
Yeah.
And the only reason I would have pulled the pin is because I couldn't be fucked anymore. Yeah.
How many naps did you have?
Not because I would have waited to just. Oh, it was one long continuous one.
He was on the water at fucking 4 a.m. Of course he did.
I've got a more serious question for you on that. You went out marlin fishing, caught an awesome yellowfin, 35 kilo, like unbelievable yellowfin tuna. Are you heading back into the ramp going, great day, fellas? Good
question. With a fish of that caliber, absolutely. Like, it's not every day you catch a 35 kilo yellowfin tuna. Not here, anyway. That's an exceptional capture for around the Perth area. Had that been a 20 kilo yellowfin tuna, we'd be like, fuck, we saw nothing. Like, if someone said, "Oh, what'd you catch?" we probably wouldn't even mention it. You know.
Ooh, okay.
But just because it was that class above of tuna, it goes in the book.
But do you know what?
But if it was one of those ones that you just catch every time, I do know what you mean.
Yeah.
What is funny is like when you go out trolling laser pros around the fads, if you catch a fucking 20 kilo yellowfin, you're stoked. But if I'm trying to target a blue marlin, I catch the exact same fish in the exact same spot. I'm like, oh, it's not even worth mentioning.
Yep. It's a mindset.
That's
thing.
A strange one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's one of the ones that Adam mentioned before. We're going to touch on in the next couple of weeks. Is like bag limits, and I think the example we gave the other night ads was like if a King George whiting bag limits 20, if you don't bag out, how many are you actually happy with? Because if you catch 6, you're sort of like...
Yeah, that's right. What do you class a successful trip based on bag?
I remember this talking about this in Western Angler in the magazine a couple of years ago, because up north in near Thevenard Island, the fillet limit for an offshore trip was 20 kilos of fillets. And then a few years ago, they changed it so that you could still get 20 kilos, but 10 of it had to be pelagic and 10 was demersal. Because people are coming home with fucking 20 kilos of trout and red emperor, naturally.
Yeah.
But, there's heaps of mackerel and tuna and stuff. So I think that was a really good decision to make. So half of it, nothing wrong with Spanish mackerel and yellowfin tuna eating. But what was funny was that everyone was disappointed on one of those trips if they didn't go home with 20 kilos of red emperor and coral trout. They changed that rule. And suddenly 10 kilos, which is half of what you could have had before, is like the same level of stoke. That the bar just moved and we just didn't even question it.
Yeah.
Even though it was half as much. Wild.
Isn't it? It's funny how our fucking brains work.
Because at the end of the day, we just want to
monkey brain.
Closest we're ever going to get in fishing to clocking it. At any stage of the game, whether it's the first ever time fishing or your last ever time fishing before it's all said and done. The closest we're ever going to get to clocking it is a bag out. Because
it's a good point.
We can't do any more. So you said there was a 20 kilo fillet limit, yet when it was reduced to half, everyone's like, I got me 10 kilos. Fuck yeah, like a king of the world. I clocked it today.
Yeah.
I
won at fishing today.
Yeah, that's it. It's interesting.
And in fairness, trout and red emperor, they don't go back.
No, they don't. They do not.
What's the best eating fish in WA, Kurt? Blue Marlin. It's the tip of his tongue. Look, he wants to say it. I
actually tried some the other day. Smoked.
Yep. I've had smoked blue marlin.
Not for me.
I had smoked blue marlin on a trip in New Zealand once. I didn't hate it.
Yeah, right.
I just brought out a
I didn't hate it either, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a proper chunk.
Yeah.
No, I'm not mad on it. You know what? I'd actually love to kill a marlin because I want its fucking bill on my wall, and I'm not ashamed of that.
Yeah.
hang on once. Stay
Leave
there.
Oh shit! Jesus, he nearly knocked over
the wall of laser pros.
the wall of laser pros.
Do you know,
Look, they're wobbling.
This is a topic we haven't touched on that we're about to discuss now.
I've just knocked over the fucking tree.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh.
See?
yeah.
Wow.
So this is Ben's dad's. I don't know how big this fish was. It must have been absolutely massive because I can't even fit my hand around its bill. But I think there's something cool about that.
It's pretty cool. Is that a Blue Marlin, Bill?
That'd probably be a black marlin, I reckon. Yeah. That's massive.
It's huge.
But like, we're talking about eating them. Like, I want to kill one so I can hang its bill on my wall, and I'm not trying to pretend to be sort of ashamed by that. I don't think there's anything wrong with killing them if, the whole... Like, I don't like the idea of just dumping them, weighing them, taking a photo and dumping them. Like, if everyone rolls down to the filleting table with their esky and gets a chunk and goes home and smokes it,
Perfect.
I reckon that's
Yeah,
unreal.
that's cool.
And
I think that's the way to do
there
it.
was a at the Jurien Bay comp last year, there was a 500 odd pounder weighed. And I reckon 300 people rocked up, and like every second person's got just a little handheld esky, and they would have fed like 200 people.
Seriously?
Off this
That's
one
awesome.
fish. Yeah, it's wicked. Like,
Yeah.
I get the trophy on my wall, and everyone gets a feed.
Yeah.
and the community's amongst
awesome.
it, and everyone's...
Yeah.
Yeah,
There
great.
is nothing wrong. There is 100% nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
But
it's funny that people get all people jump up and down about killing marlin, and I get it because they're an impressive creature, but it's kind of like where do you draw the line? What are we basing our value of each fish species off? Like
I honestly think it comes down to
their
this.
appearance.
I think it comes down to the size, because
Yeah.
it's hard to visualize in this day and age where we're so highly educated. It's hard to say that 500-pound marlin. How is it going to be physically possible to harvest all that meat and nothing goes to waste?
Yeah.
And we automatically then, if something goes to waste, it means that fish died for nothing, and we're the monsters. Whereas anything that's that's small, you just like either A, it doesn't matter, it's small. There must be heaps of them because they're small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's pretty hard to waste the majority of it, because you can take two small fish, whatever species, list whatever, King George whiting, pinkies, brim, whatever. You're just taking a one-off feed. There's no, you know what I mean? There's no huge chance to waste too much of it.
I still reckon optics is a big part of it, and why, and it sucks because if you were to bring home 20 kilos of red emperor fillets,
everyone will pat you on the back.
No one even looks at it, or But if you bring into the gantry, we see it at home with 100-kilo bluefin tuna. There's always someone, and it always appears somewhere on social media or online or on some sort of fucking channel that, look at this, look what they've done. They've killed this beautiful big fish.
Yeah.
It's not like, for starters, when it comes to the Blue Marlin thing, I'm assuming there's not many really that are, and it's the same as where you are at the moment, Ads. There's not many stripes or blacks that get brought into Burmese and Marimbula and stuff. And if they do, same thing. The locals come down and bring bags of ice and chuck them on and take them home for a fresh feed of, you know what I mean?
And also, like, they're fast growing. There's shitloads of them.
Yeah.
They don't have many natural predators. Like, they're just in no one can... You can't go out and hammer them.
Yeah.
Like, if you catch one every time you go, like, you're an absolute freak.
Yeah.
Like, they're just at no risk of ever being depleted.
Yeah.
Unlike all the other stuff that no one cares if you
So
kill.
maybe it's edibility. So maybe it's edibility. Blue marlin aren't classed as one of the best fish to eat in the ocean, whereas a red emperor, people almost crack it if you put them back. Because, like, hang on.
Yeah, I just think it's
that's the best
backwards.
fish you're
It's
ever
so
going to eat in your
backwards.
life. It's like King George whiting down here. It's
yeah.
like, why would you release them? They're so good to eat.
But having said that, though, it's also probably, I'd love to. You don't often see marlin on a menu in a restaurant.
No,
I'd love to get a marlin into the hands of a really talented chef, because they're not they're not the worst things in the world to eat. But if you really did something special with it, it could be fucking unbelievable.
Awesome.
Yeah, it could be unreal.
Yeah.
Big hassle though. I'll be doing well to get one in the boat.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, that's
Like, my boat's only 17 foot. Like, it's almost a bit of a hassle, but
yeah, that's a good point.
yeah.
It's But good. It's awesome, man. It's great to hear that you're up and about, and Blue Marlin's the thing. I can't
mad.
wait to follow along and see how you get on with it, because like I said, you can hear the excitement in your voice about them. They are they're still, I don't know, maybe it's different on the East Coast. They're not something you hear about heaps. You know what I mean?
Right.
There are species that you can. They're out there, and talented anglers can go and get them. Often they're caught probably not really targeting. Like you've said throughout tonight, you're targeting Blue Marlin. There's definitely, like I said, and Adam and I aren't the game fishing experts by a million miles, but you definitely know of the marlin enthusiasts that will target them and know how to target them.
Well, do they have the most mystique out of the three main marlin species that would be targeted by a rec angler? So
100%.
blue, black, stripe.
Yeah.
Would the blue have the most
100%.
mystique? Blue marlin? Hell yeah.
Oh, well,
yeah.
They got the most fucking horsepower. Like, they are just another fucking level. Like, and to be fair, I've never caught or like been involved in a capture of a big black marlin, which I think would be,
pretty special.
A feat in itself. Yeah, it would be. But with what we're doing, like, the blacks are in that same sort of size range, that sort of 400 pound, 300 to 400 pound size range. The blues just go absolutely nuts.
The other interesting question for you is, have you ever heard of a small blue marlin being caught? Like, they
That's
just
a great
seem to
question.
be big all the time.
Yeah, that's a great question.
So the first one I ever caught on my own boat, I showed Ben, my boss, and he's like, that is the smallest fucking blue marlin I've ever seen.
It was 250 pounds.
No, it was probably, would have been lucky to be 100 kilos. Like, it was, which is obviously, in the scheme of fish, is a massive fish. But by Blue Marlin stand, it was a little one, which was perfect. I was so stoked.
Yeah, it's a great way to start. But do you know what I mean? Like, because you get the baby blacks up in Queensland, Fraser Island, all that on the flats in the shallows, the little stripes kick around everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, like I'm saying, like, it would have been 75 to 100 kilos, which is still, not like the 25, 30, 35 kilo
it's not
blacks
tiny.
and stuff you get. Yeah,
you're right. When's the last time you saw a small blue marlin?
Weird.
They don't exist. They're born 100 kilos.
They walk. Just walk out.
I love the way your first ever fish just gets shot down by a boss as well.
Yeah, that is the smallest one.
That's a cute one. Well done.
He was he was congratulatory first, but it did
for a second.
It did make its way in there that it was fucking tiny. It's all right. We've upped that PB since then. So
what is your PB? We've been talking about PBs a lot on the podcast in the last few weeks.
The one we caught a couple of weeks ago, like, for me personally, skippering would have been the biggest one that I've caught. Well, I didn't wind it in, but as a team. And I want to start taking short length measurements on them. I've got the measure, and the last like 3 or 4 fish, I just haven't thought to do it. Which I probably should start measuring a few of them, because if you're going to release them, then it's really the only thing that gives you a somewhat reliable indication of how big it actually was. Because I can say, it was about 400 pound, but I've seen like 4 fish weighed in my life, so I've got really no idea or no ability to eyeball them. I don't know. From showing photos to people who would have a much better idea than me, it's around that 4 to 450 pound mark.
Big fish, man. Fuck
yeah.
And just a follow-up question, because we were talking in the last couple of weeks, but particularly a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about we don't often, I say we, Adam and I, but just generally speaking, I don't think we don't go targeting a PB, and because I think if you do that, you change everything. Your whole mindset changes, and probably even location. If you were to target, if you just wanted the biggest possible blue marlin in your region, is there an area you'd go, or is it luck of the draw, without sounding a bit, I don't want to sound too pessimistic about luck of the draw type thing, but is there an area that's like, this will hold big fish?
No, I don't think, if I was like, all right, I want to catch a monster, I would do the exact same thing that we do now when we're just trying to catch whatever we can catch.
And you're a chance.
The only thing I would change probably is the gear. Like I had a spread of 80 wide Tiagras, and I've actually just sold those and geared down, just because the 80 wides, they're absolute winches.
They're massive. And they're heavy.
Yeah, they're so big. Yeah. And so I went with those because they've got the most, apart from 130, which you need a chair for. The 80 wides are about as big as you can go fishing stand up. They've got the most line capacity. I can put heaps of 60 kilo mono on there. Like 60 kilos unforgiving. If we fucking wrap it around the prop or if anything goes wrong, like that was just our best chance at not fucking it up entirely, which is the reason why I went for that gear. But now that we've sort of got a few under our belt and have a better idea of what to do and what not to do, I've sold the 80 wides and got Talica 50s, so like a bit smaller gear. But then I'm still running the chance that if you hooked a fucking 1,000-pounder, you might get smoked on the smaller gear.
Do you reckon you would have, if you hook a 1,000-pounder on an 80 wide, would you become more like? Is there still a chance you get smoked on an 80 wide?
I still reckon I don't reckon.
And have fucking fun fighting that stand up.
Yeah.
No, it's in the gun, mate. I'm just leaning over.
Fuck. No, look, I don't reckon me and my crew would be. Luck would have to go your way on any gear. Like, we just don't have and mainly because, with a fish like that, or any blue marlin, to be honest, like you see the guys who do it really well, and I always use Peak Sports Fishing and Exmouth as just the pinnacle of the system. So Eddie Lawler and Wes Jones and Riley Smith, like because they're all so good at their particular roles on the boat, like they can just make the most of an opportunity that happens in a split second. Like, a fish will go down and they'll be like, yep, crank the drag up. They pull on its head twice with drag and it'll be like, oh fuck, I don't like that. Come back up and Ed's just straight on it, backs the boat in. Riley knows what he's doing, grabs the leader, like get a tag in it. Like they're just such a well-oiled machine that they can make an opportunity to tag a fish or land a fish that I just would not have the ability to do. And I think with one of those real big fish, that would, the boys from the men would separate even further. And we probably wouldn't take that one chance that we might have to get it.
Hey, what would be what's your best role on a boat? Where are you in your prime? Where are you absolutely dominating?
Ben reckons I'm pretty good at holding the couches down in rough weather. He said he's never worried about the portside couch fucking rolling away. I don't know. That's a good question. I enjoy driving.
Yeah.
Just that part of it for me is more. I'd much rather someone else catch that marlin that they might have never wound one in before or whatever. Like I get more enjoyment out of doing the weird bits and finding it and watching the fucking temp gauge and stuff. Now I enjoy that stuff more than winding it in.
Yeah.
So that's my preference. I'm no good at leadering a fish or dealing with the fish at the side of the boat. That shit is scary. Like a lot of guys love it. They're like, it's 1v1 fucking 500-pound mono and you and a 200-kilo fish
that has a spear attached to its
face. Keep me away from that.
Yeah, it's got weaponry.
Me away from that.
Yeah.
I'm just not. I'm not sticking my hand up for that part. And when you see a good Wyman leader a big fish or a green fish, it's athlete stuff. Like,
do you know?
A mate of mine, Brody, comes to mind. Like he's a freak.
I was watching some of the Cairns Black Marlin stuff recently on YouTube, and the communication between the skipper and quite often some of the young crew on the leaders and stuff, it's screaming at them, giving them directions from the fly. It's
incredible.
It's such a team thing. Like you can't. I won't say you can't. Obviously, people can catch marlin solo, cool, but to do the big fish.
You're not well though. Yeah. Like you can't. No one's ever gone and like got 6 from 6. Solo. Like when you talk about like anyone can just go and manage to catch one. There's always a chance of that. But when you see, like I remember a day in Exmouth, not last year but the year before, when we were fishing heavy tackle, and I think we got 6 from 7, and we were pretty fucking happy with ourselves.
Yeah.
And Wes on peak was like, yeah, I got 12 from 13. Like, fuck, we're We thought we were good at 6 from 7, and he's gone 12 from 13. And that was on the contender, so he was on his own with just 2 anglers on board. So, like, they're just... Those guys are just on a freak level. Yeah. They just see it before it happens. You know, to the point where, like, I remember there was a period there where a fish would be jumping, and they'll get a long lens camera and take photos of the fish on the fly bridge and zoom in and see how it's hooked. And they'll be like, it's hooked in the corner of the jaw, drag up, like we can put pressure on this.
Sick.
Or they'll be like, oh, no, it's looking at the camera like, it's bill wrapped, sit behind the fish and we'll take it easy. And I'm just like, fuck, I'm just trying to work out which lures to run.
Shit.
And they're just so far ahead.
That's 1%ers ads.
That is the ultimate 1%er in game fishing.
That's 1%er type shit.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah. And Wes, like, I've actually never fished with Wes, but Ben has fished with Wes a fair bit. And, like, he'll be able to tell how a fish is hooked based on just how it's behaving when you're hooked up to it. And he's just always right. Like, the angler's just fighting a fish and he'll be like, it's wrapped around the bill. And you're like, how the fuck do you know that? And I don't even know what it is that he's looking for, and it'll come up and it will be wrapped around the bill.
That's wild.
And, you know, Riley's one of the deckies on peak as well, and Riley's young. He'd be about 22, but he's been doing it since he was 15, so he's a freak as well. And we hooked a fish one day, and, you know, normally you hook them, and if they're hooked good, they just go nuts. They're jumping on the surface and greyhounding. And this one came up and just sort of ate, and then just did nothing. And straight away, Riley's like, back the drag off. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, if they don't go nuts, a lot of the time it means they're just hooked a bit weird, or like something isn't quite right there. And so just back that pressure off, let the belly of the line, like, keep the hook in. And just like those instant decisions that they just make. That is just, it just takes a lifetime of time in the water to be able to make those instinct calls.
But to be alongside that, and I think the three of us are massive nerds when it comes to this stuff, there's nothing better than being a part of, or just witnessing that firsthand. And
it's so good.
Even with some of the barra fishing last year, with some of the people that was on a couple of those trips, Kurt, like, they just see it differently, and they can call things, and they, you know, you might be fishing and casting at this snag that looks great. And I think I said it ads at the time. Cord Lucas was walking me through a plastic at one stage, and he goes, "There's fish all along here, but they're not responding to hard bodies." He goes, "Chuck," and he just did it himself. He goes, "I like to just put this in." It was like a soft vibe. And all I do, and he was just talking through it, all I do is bang it out. So he's put the cast where he wanted it, and he goes, and I just give the rod tip, just quite a subtle little knock, and he just loaded up straight away. He's like, just like that. And I'm like, I love that shit.
Yeah.
No, but it's cool.
It's cool that there's so many levels to it as well. Like, you know, when I took my mate and his dad out the other week and we caught that blue, they're probably thinking I'm some fucking freak. But then there's me looking at Riley and those boys like, fuck, I'm nowhere near them.
Yeah, but it's a progression, and it's not. There's a difference between. But you said yourself though, you've already taken that next step, is to potentially have left early to stick in at the same grounds, knowing that it's the right area and just persisting. So that's kind of that's a level up. Like that's impressive in itself.
That's a version of a 1%er. For where you're at now, that's a 1%er. That 99% of the population would have gone, it's not happening today, let's just go in. We've been slogging this out forever, and let's just go.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah,
it is cool. It's the type of fishing with the never-ending 1%ers. You know, like, so, you know, like you run your lures out of outriggers to get them out of the, out of the wash and into clean water. And so we were using lucky bands. So we had game fishing lucky bands, which are rated to a breaking strain. So break at a certain breaking strain so that it will set the hook. And we're running the lucky bands in the riggers. And Riley goes, you need to change. It'd been an hour. And Riley's like, you got to change your luckies. I'm like, why? I just fucking put them out there. And he's like, yeah, but the sun will degrade them and they don't break at the same breaking strain. I'm like, oh my God, I've never thought of that.
Nah.
And it would.
Yeah, it would.
Like, it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
You know, it's rated to break at 6 kilos. That's what our drags are set at. That's what we want to get that particular hook in. And after an hour and a half in the sun, it breaks at fucking 2 kilos. And it's no good anymore. Like, just, it never ends.
It never ends. You're 100% right.
Yeah.
And you said about clocking at ads, bagging out, and we'd take the piss a little bit. But fishing can't be conquered.
No.
Even those guys that from around Exmouth, Kurt, that you're saying are the goats, and I don't doubt it at all, and I've definitely heard the names, even over this side of the country, there'd still be elements that they do where they go, oh, that surprised me today. Or do you know what I mean? Like, or there's just a factor that threw me today, and that's why it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We spoke about boat snacks when you were on last time, didn't we? Because we had a controversial take. Oh no, it was one of your counterparts at Halco said that barbecue shapes are no good. Wasn't a fan. Yeah, that's right.
No, I'm okay on barbecue shapes.
You're pro barbecue shapes. I was going to throw it.
I'm fine.
Just to round out, I was going to just go there, but I remembered we already went there. Barbecue shapes is fine. What about
I
tunes?
added pizza as well because I'm big on pizza. Tunes is good.
Because it's crucial. Like if you're
especially
trolling around for
barbecue.
6, 7, 8 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, and like you hear the same playlist 2 or 3 times sometimes, especially if you're not prepared. Big point here. If you're not prepared and you don't download shit, you're in big trouble.
You'll just keep listening to Jet and the Kaiser Chiefs, which came on regularly, too much, too often while we're stuck up a creek barrow fishing. Anyway,
I like everyone love music, but I'm not an electronic music person. So drum and bass, I don't listen to, except when I'm marlin fishing. There's something about drum and bass when you're marlin fishing that is like, I think because it kind of never ends, but it is also sort of a little bit different. Like, a normal song starts and ends, and you can kind of get sort of engrossed in the song in a way, whereas drum and bass just sort of is a background vibe for a period of time.
I don't mind that. I don't mind. So will you queue up like just a playlist of that sort of stuff and just let it roll all day? Or are you sort of flicking through?
The boys have a playlist called Sex Mouth after X Mouth, which is like 12 hours of marlin trolling.
You may have just redeemed yourself because I was half willing to write you off with drum and bass.
That's not bad. That's not bad. Playlists are crucial.
And there's a couple songs that we play. God's Country by Blake Shelton is one that we play when nothing's happening, and we're like, all right, we need to fucking change. Something needs to change here. Play God's Country.
Yeah, that's just like a change the scene, change the mood, change something. Yeah. What about the run out? Because often it might be an hour steam or whatever it is. That's got to be. All right, so is that just pump up tunes?
Yeah. No, I'm weird like this. So I'm pretty like. Especially when we're driving out in the dark, I'm like, I don't like loud music because I just like to fucking concentrate.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because driving a boat, and everyone probably hates me, thinks I'm a bit of the fun police for this, but like, you're driving the boat in the dark, you got 3 dickheads on board.
I get it.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just like, the last thing I need is just loud music right now. So I'm no music until like lures are in the water.
Light.
Yeah, sun's up. Weather's good.
You'd be the sort
There's
of
no
person
reef directly in front of us that I can't see.
You'd be the sort of person who'd turn down the music while you're trying to find a park in a car park.
Yeah, fucking
who doesn't? You're a weirdo if you don't do that.
Yeah. No, I do. It's just you have to. No, that's fair. Okay. So keep the tunes to a minimum while you're concentrating. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
and then pump that shit.
If you hook a fish, music off.
Yeah, no, I can see that, especially in a high stress situation like game fishing. Yeah. That makes sense.
And whose responsibility is that? Is that the driver needs to lean over and knock that off?
I think it depends. It depends what boat you're on and where the sort of logistical access to the music is. On my boat, it's my responsibility because it's on my dashboard.
Yep.
But like on Ben's boat, he's upstairs. It's still my responsibility because the radio's downstairs.
Near the couch. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Right next to the port
roll
couch.
over and hit snooze and then get up and...
So just finally on the music thing while fishing. So I thought you were going to talk a bit about, with that style of music you said, I thought you were going to say something about you feel like it contributes to maybe some sort of aggregation of the fish or the bait or something. Because I knew a guy who fished heavily for marlin over the years who would play reggae. And he thought that there was something in the heavy beats and the low sort of tones in that bass lines that really sent out some good vibes, like literally.
I reckon there probably would be. I think maybe I don't know, in big boats where it's like I remember hearing those big old wooden boats used to play rock music, and that would actually, they thought that would work. I don't know.
I don't think I don't think you can fact check that. I don't think there's any actual.
No.
But hey, if you're rocking Bob Marley and you're going 6 from 6 every trip out, then you maybe something to it.
If it gives you a few points of confidence, you got to do it.
Yeah,
you got it.
Bloody.
I agree. Hey Kurt, we're going to let you go because we've hung on to you for long enough. We love having you back on the show, mate. So please jump on the Deep Drop again. It's great to see you, great to hear from you, and stoked. I'm on board. I'm watching closely with the Blue Marlin expeditions,
the Blue
mate,
Marlin
because
journey.
Fascinates the shit out of me. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Keep
no
at
worries,
it,
boys. Thanks for having me. No, I love and it's good. No, everyone's a bit sick of hearing me talk about Blue Marlin here. So
nah,
really,
it's good.
Bring it on.
Righto. So we've just lost all our WA listeners
again. No, I've already done it, mate. There was none left. Don't worry about it. I got you back.
They're gone.
Thanks, Kurt. Good work, legend.
No worries,
Good on you,
boys.
Kurt.
Cheers.